Okay. Hey guys, Dicey Bro here, and today I wanted to make a tier list video as the layman man or the lament, uh, average, your average dude, like how it says in the title. I'm not a professional streamer. I'm not a top, tournament winner. So you could tell this is your average guy. Therefore, if you dislike anything on this tier list, feel free. This is my tier list not based off biasness or trash teammates or, perfect aim. This is more to do with their kit and more logic, basically. And yeah, so S tier means that they probably need a nerf and are really good at the game. And D tier, because there is no F tier, is like they probably need a buff because and it doesn't mean they're bad, it just means they probably need a buff and are less, more underrated, if anything. Starting with Adam, the perfect being in the perfect spot, B tier. This man is a 50-50. He's a flip of a coin. You either get a goated Adam Warlock of all time, or you're gonna get a terrible Adam Warlock. But all things you do know is just this man can save you from ultimates. He can fly away now. Now that his legs have been healed so he can get out of the wheelchair. He also has the capability to do a bunch of damage, because if Adam Warlock's not like doing damage when his heals are on cooldown, then he's not Adam Warlocking. And so yeah, if you see Adam with lots of kills, then that means they're doing their job probably with a little extra. So yeah, B tier. It means he could probably use some buffs, probably use some nerfs, and then that will change him depending on where they give him there. Angela is definitely A tier. Now, I know some of you probably just looked at the screen like, what? But looking at it this way, I've never personally had an issue with Angela. Keep in mind, just so that I can, use my credibility of where I am. I one trick BP on PC and I've almost gotten an Eternity. Almost. Like, I just stopped playing though because I have more things to do, more games to play. And I have almost also gotten a Celestial on console. Console's a lot harder because you get a lot dumber teammates. It doesn't get better. People just get more full of themselves on console. I mean, people do that on PC too, but at least, like, if I have a Hela on my team, I'm more likely to have a Hela and a Namor than I am to have a Scarlet Witch. Now, the worst part about it is that most Scarlet Witch players frontline DPS instead of like prevent dive on console. That's just the console things. Whenever you see a Scarlet Witch on console, they're not anti dive. They're anti frontline. They're just trying to get their ults and spam it. Anyway, back to Angela. See, the thing is, like, honestly, I'd buffer a little bit, just like make it to where that super dash that she does is a little longer, just a teeny bit longer, like maybe half a second or something, or half a second to a second, that much, just so she can stay in like super speed mode for longer. This would allow her to recover from dying a lot faster, meaning like she can go from spawn to wherever the action is a lot quicker. And this also means that if she misses, she might have a chance to do a little donut, a little loop-de-loop bimbo, and then she takes you off the map because she's cool. And why do I think that's fine is because, honestly, whenever I've played mini characters, I played BP, and I've never been scared of an Angela. And you're probably like, oh, well, that's because you're BP. I've played Spider-Man and beaten her ass. I played BP, beaten her ass. I played Jeff and beaten her ass. Jeff, guys, Jeff. I fought her, and you can win as Jeff. So you're telling me Cloak and Dagger, who can literally weave attacks, Luna Snow, who can freeze attacks, Invisreal can't. Y'all are having issues with the person Jeff doesn't have issues. Ultron's, you don't got mobility, but you're in the air, right? Mantis, you got a sleep button. Like, use your The only person who used to get a technicality was Adam Warlock. But like every character has a way of getting away from Angela and preventing her from just dumping her off the map. And if you're positioned in a way where she can just dump you to the death zone, then you're terrible yourself. That's bad positioning. That's not bad Angela, good Angela. That's bad you. So yeah, I'd honestly buff her shield just so that she actually is tanking a little bit more, and I'd probably buff her like super dash a little bit more. Yeah. So she's not S tier because she's not really broken, and I've seen terrible Angelas before who have animated icons and they're garbage. BP, yeah, you're going in my B tier. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. BP is B tier. BP for B tier. That's definitely not biased because I one trick him on PC. Anyway, yeah. So like I already said it in a previous video about Mr. Fantastic. I'd buff him by making it to where I forget if it was either his spear or his dash gives him like reduces the cooldown for his other alternatives. So like hitting a spear or hitting a dash makes the cooldown for the other one go less. Not by a little, not by a lot, just a little bit. You know, like maybe 0.1 or 0.2 seconds even. You know, just something where it's noticeably different and you can get your legs back faster. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would I give him a possibly infinite combo? Because BP is a necessary evil to make sure that your team knows to peel and to counter. Not Thing. I'm not talking about Thing to come get him. I'm talking about you frontline witches. I'm sick and tired of you. Scarlet Witch is anti-dive. Namor is anti-dive. Yet y'all play them like they're frontline DPSs. Why is my Bucky more of an anti-dive than the anti-dive? Like, no offense, you Bucky players are awesome. The ones that are appealing, you shouldn't be doing that. You should, like, no offense, you should be frontlining. You should be the one shooting the tank and getting your points and everything. Scarlet Witch should literally be in the back, low damage, because she's like waiting for that BP to even sniff in the direction of her team. That Namor should be also in the back, ready to L2 or, depending on if you're PC, right click, or I don't know what, some people have different buttons for their like super spear throw, where it makes the turrets focus. Yeah, they need to, and it makes it to where you need better aim, Namors. Why am I one of the very few Namors on console who have a above 50% ratio of actually killing things that doesn't use their squids? I kill things more often without my squids than with my squids. I mean, my squids still kill like, 40% of the time. But the fact that I can kill more than 50% with just my own skill alone, and I'm doing that on dive, keep that one. I'm anti-diving the divers without even using the thing that people talk about is the anti-dive. I don't even use the squid sometimes to anti-dive the divers. I mean, I can, and I will, but I sometimes don't even need it. So why do you need it? That just means you're bad and relying on the character. So yeah. Next is Boom. Yeah, you might be wondering why I'm putting the Widow in A tier, but this is not because this is excluding those throwers out there that are terrible. It's including those terrible snipers that can't aim like me. I'm talking about this character is fundamentally really good, especially if you build a fair and balanced comp around her. You put a Storm, you put an Ultron, and you put a Mantis, and now suddenly she can one-shot 75% of the people, two-shot 10% more of those people, and three-shot the rest of those people, especially if you're hitting headshots. This means because you have Storm, who's a very good DPS, and you would have you would be able to poke the Storm, right, with Hela, but that's why you have Widow. Widow literally can basically protect the Storm. Storm can kind of anti-dive her, and if she's sticking near, Widow, she can really kind of anti-dive. On top of that, Mantis would also kind of be somewhat near, since she needs to boost the Widow. She's also kind of anti-dive. Widow can also get people off her herself. So now you have 3 ways of technically anti-diving. So you can't get dive. If you try to anti-poke the storm or something, that's why Widow shoots you and will one-shot you indefinitely if you're really good. If you're good at the game, like a Widowmaker player. And on top of that, if you're a tank, you now have to be scared because if you stop moving or get head dinked twice, you're probably dead unless you're like Thing or something. And if you're taking constant damage before getting head dinked, then yeah, imagine a storm hitting you with her little lightning strike that does a sizable amount of damage, and then all of a sudden you get head dinked. Yeah, you're probably dead no matter what tank you are. You see what I mean? So therefore, you combine that with all 3 of them, and that doesn't even include Luna Snow. Boom. And then Ultron can be, swapped with Luna, but like Ultron has a more reliable boost than Luna does. Luna's only with her ultimate, but her ultimate has a better boost, so you can say whatever. But yeah, like Ultron can literally just put a drone on her, and now she has passive healing like Wolverine and Deadpool, and you can just occasionally she'll just receive a super boost from Ultron while getting boosted by Mantis, who has a really good ult. So, boom. That's why I said I'm excluding those people. Now, I would put Blade in C tier, but I'm going to put him in B tier because he can, with that new buff that he's received, he can kind of like hurt people and make it to where you can't really run away from him. But other than when you're 1v1ing him, which is a pain, he's really only kind of good for stalling a point and maybe shredding tanks and stuff. Because otherwise, like as Jeff, I kind of just ignore him. I mean, he'll hit me, and yes, he'll be gaining ult charge, but it's like he's not really a threat to me if I don't let him be. I mean, I've ignored him as White Fox even, and she's a new character, and I definitely ignore him as Deadpool, or Heelpool. So like, I will just flat out ignore a Blade if I'm Heelpool. I will ignore him. I will not even look his direction, and most of the time, it's just not It's not useful to try to fight a healer whenever they can just get back up, and you're gonna take a while to kill them, and then meanwhile their DPS get time to shoot at your team, and get to turn around and kill you, and then now your team's down a player, or they get to just ignore and kill your team because you're down a player. So yeah, Blade probably still needs a little bit more buffs. But I don't know. Cap, you are A tier. You used to be S tier, but that animation cancel stop, yeah, he does a little more damage. But the reason why he's also not lower than A tier is because the fact that you can have no brain cells and pick up Cap and stall point, like I do. I have no brain cells when I play Cap. I just jump around and block and hit people. But you also can have brain cells to play him well. So you can play him well, or you can also not play him well. Either way, yeah, you're going to be alive. And you can just stall a point just because you do the basic B and B, basic combos. And on top of that, if you play him well, you can also kill people. And with him being able to move his team, you can you're basically another support ult for your entire team. You're like a tertiary support ult. No one some people expect it, but that just means like people can follow in your footsteps, and suddenly, boom, that's a support ult right there that allows your team to push. I would put, if this was a team of how much I like them, I'm putting Cloak and Dagger there, but unfortunately, Cloak and Dagger is S tier. Now, you can disagree. However, all I gotta say is us against the world. Us against the world. Now, if you think, oh, well, Cloak and Dagger's not S tier, we could counter her. Hawkeye, Hela, blah, 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 Magneto, all blah, 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 blah. Then you're the 1 millionth person I've probably heard say that. You know what's funny? And if you're saying this, then you must not have heard of counters. How do you counter a mag bubble? You don't. Oh, you're going to wait it out? That's kind of hard to wait it out when you're getting punched in the face now by Mr. Fantastic because they have a support ult that's happening. You can't aim as Hawkeye if you're getting punched. You know what I mean? You can't. Oh, you were going to Magneto ult? That sucks for you. Tankpool has decided he's going to jump into your Magneto ult as you release it. Then what? What's your goal now? He has a healing factor. He can tank your Magneto ult and eat it for breakfast. That's not even including if he ults. You know how many times this heal pull, I'll willingly run into the ult? Oh, yeah. The bro goes, Fear Magneto! When on my Us Against the World, he throws that shit down. I'm like, woohoo! And I jump into it. Oh no, I've been hit. My healing factor procs. 45 seconds of not being able to heal another one-shot ultimate. Oh no. Oh, what's that? I have 8 seconds of immortality and my health won't die? Time to get my ult, because guess what? It refreshes your healing factor. Hee hee. Looks like it didn't even matter. Oh, you got now that I've refreshed it, I'm gonna pop my ult, giving me more immortality and healing for my friends for 12 seconds. What's that? You're gonna try to maximum pulse? That's unfortunate. You can't maximum pulse my Cloak and Dagger if I jump into your ultimate. There's so many ways to counter. There's fridge mode as Mr. Fantastic. There's Penny. There's Magneto Bubble. There's Magneto ult. There's tank pool bubble. There's just the pools in general that can jump into the ultimates. It's just basically, it doesn't matter. So yeah, and with that being said, S tier for Elsa 2. Now I know what you're thinking. She's been nerfed. How is she still S tier? She's still cracked. She does a lot of damage, a lot of poke damage. She can move a lot. She has high mobility, more mobility than even Hela, but she does basically nearly the same damage as Hela. And she can kill you. I also don't know where the video was. It was on Reddit from a streamer or YouTuber, I don't remember. And they had a 40-second long Elsa combo. Now, I know what you're thinking when you hear that. 40 seconds, what do you mean? So what happened was they stringed a bunch of ults on the entire... Keep in mind, this is pre-nerf Elsa, though. So she got a 6-man stack. Now, usually, what you do is you kill them all. That wastes basically, 10 to 12 seconds of their time. Or you run away. What they did is they grabbed the 6-man, and by using, I think, a Groot ult or something, forcing all 6 of them to stick to be forced together, then she Elsa ulted. Then, keep in mind, they Elsa ulted from a bit of a distance. And boom, they got all 6 of them. Then they called it back as they ran away like a baby in a straight line. And because it's going to run in a straight line, they basically dashed and used all their movements to go as far in a straight line as they could, effectively making it to where it had to travel quite sizable amount of difference. This was on the Bast map, by the way, in comp. This was a comp lobby. They did it on the Bast map where you have to move the statue, and it was crazy. Then they combined it with other ultimates, like Jeff's ultimate and stuff, to make it to where you're forced into into another location, and then they killed them. Because at the end of the day, that's basically 10 seconds of time that you're wasting running away, having it chase you, 10 seconds in Jeff's mouth, and basically another 10 seconds because you have to respawn, and plus the time it takes you to get back. This means that all this time, they basically were able to effectively push point uncontested because they used a bunch of ults. Now you might thinking, why would they use that? That means they used a bunch of ults to do this. Yes, but 40 seconds away from point, having 3 people on point, is not a bad trade-off. That's an awesome trade-off. Use a bunch of ults, but your enemy team can't respond and stop you for 40 seconds is a awesome trade-off. You can still do this to this day. It's just harder. So you combine a bunch of ults, you basically run away, make it take as long as possible, and you combine the ults to make them take as long as possible. And in case you're wondering, what if you're on a map where Jeff can't just kill them? It's called Strange. That's why there's called Strange portals. That's why they exist. You don't have to just use it to get to point. You can use it offensively and defensively, which a lot of people don't realize. And Emma. Let's be real. I've never been seen in Emma as a threat. I've dove SVP. Emma's not a threat. PC Emma's, you're not a threat. Console Emma's, you're also not a threat. You have an ultimate that can easily be blocked by everything that has any possible shielding. White Fox can now stop you in your ult if she's good enough, and like characters can also just out heal your ultimate. Yeah, I mean, literally, if Mr. Fantastic stands in front of you as Fridge, you're just stopped. You know, like yeah, you can walk around him, but he can kind of shimmy with you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a worthy Fridge, and that's not even that's including the fact that they don't have a strange for whatever the fuck reason. And let's be real, the chances of I've seen of an Emma actually using their diamond form and chilling in their backline is like astronomically low until you get into higher elo. Like, I'm pretty sure top players, Eternity and higher probably do it, but like most Emmas are terrible. They don't diamond form correctly. They diamond form too early. They don't diamond for their backline, or they diamond form and walk to their backline. Like that's a smart thing to do. Because even if you grab me, if you don't kill me afterward, then does it really matter? Do you see what I mean? Let the devil kind of stay in. He's pretty good. You cannot lie. He's pretty good. He's not that bad. He's not bad enough to be B tier, but he's still good even after those nerfs. And he also will force attention, which is awesome for a diver. Because if you're all focused on one guy, then that means as long as your healers are doing their job, they know who to heal. And if you don't focus him because you're like, I'm gonna ignore him, he'll do a bunch of damage and force you to focus him because you're gonna take a bajillion damage. Yeah. So therefore he will in fact let the devil out. He is one of those characters where you can't really ignore him. You can try to, but you won't be able to, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's my opinion on Emma. Again, you can feel free to disagree. Next is Pool, who is undoubtedly S tier. I mean, the fact that he can block ultimates and tank Pool with his bubble. You can block you can block ultimates with your face as well as all of them. You don't even need to be a tank for that. You can just tank them because you are Pool. I mean, you could do the same as Wolverine, but Wolverine's a little more detrimental because I think he has like 100 seconds or something stupid on his cooldown. Yeah, he can like shorten it, but like Pool can just ult and get it back. You know what I mean? He can just ult, and now he has his healing factor back. You know what I mean? Like Wolverine can't just ult and get his back, which would be crazy if he could, because then he'd be busted. Pool can literally he's dynamically different. I mean, granted they nerfed him. I mean, DPS pools. If you're a DPS pool man, like no offense, but I still think that they were wrong for taking away the hazardous hijinks combo where you could like Beyblade on top of people's head. Like, why are we taking away animation cancels that help people do better? You know what I mean? Like that was his whole kit. I know they said, well, if you're not doing it, you're fine. But like I was barely able to do it. Granted, like I was doing it normally most of the time, but like whenever I could do the Beyblade attack where you're going, that wasn't even that broken. You could just punch him. You could beat his ass. Cause he wouldn't move. That was the point. That was the point of the move. Is instead of bouncing up off them, you would just stay there laying into them. And all they had to really do was just move around a lot better instead of being like stationary. I still think to this day they should re-put it back to where you could do the hazardous hijinks combo as DPS pool. I'm just saying that was the best one for him. And the fact that they inadvertently decided to give the rest a cooldown out of fear makes no sense because nothing was wrong with the other ones. Just DPS pool was the only one that could do that. So why are we nerfing the cooldown spam of others? Yeah. So he's S tier. Strange. I would say I'd put him in S tier just because he can solo tank. But I mean, then again, He is a game changer. Like, if you think about it, Strange is always going to be a game changer, no matter what universe he's in. Like, if I want, and in fact, if I wanted to push the agenda for Strange, I'd put him in D tier just so that he can get a buff. Because the amount of people that have to solo tank a Strange into a thing and Thor and Hulk and Emma, I feel bad for all of you. But like, Strange really can just change a game. You can do what like Borger does all the time with his portals. If you're really good, you can like do like there's so much tech you can do. You can portal characters off the map. You can do it off spawn. You can portal trap them for extra time in their spawn. You can portal trap the enemy in their spawn. You know, like as the pushers, so they can't like come contest you out from defense. You know, you can like if you see an ultimate that's about to occur, you can put a portal underneath them and they can fall into it. You can portal your team to safety, portal your team into the action. You can do so much with Strange, especially with his portals. You can kill through support ults. You just do a lot of AoE damage. You get your ultimates. You can change the game by just Agamottoing. They have to respect you all the time. Like whenever I fly up and do that like fly cancel over people's head, they just assume I'm gonna ult, and I will see Susan just push me instinctively, or Luna's try to freeze me, or like people just running to their backline to protect their healers whenever they see me do that. And I'm like, and I won't even hit a button. I'll just do the fly cancel to scare them. And it works. It really does work. Gambit. He's actually only A tier. Now, if I had to put him, okay, so Angela's still right there. And you know, we're gonna actually say he's above Cap. We're gonna say Gambit's above that, but not above Angela, because let's be real, Angela can actually kill people. Gambit's only good because he never folds. Yeah, he gets that anti-heal, but like, I mean, I've never really been scared of a Gambit personally. I've never really seen a crazy Gambit personally. And now that people have finally figured it out in their dumb little heads that the way to counter a Gambit is with a support ult of your own. That's just normal support ult or another Gambit ult. Basically meaning that he's not as powerful as people expected because or as people thought he was anymore because people just were turning off their brain. In fact, I hate it whenever I see people like Gambit ult. Like the enemy team will Gambit ult and my team will start booking it. Like they'll start running, they'll start retreating. And that's the most B word made thing you can do. That's also the worst thing you can do is allow Gambit to make his team create space. He's basically turning into a tank and creating the space for his team with that ult. And if you're tucking your tail and running, then all you're doing is giving it to him for free. Like at least if you die forward, like if you die keeping them there and you're like, no, fuck your ult, you're staying right here. Like they either now you're forcing them into a 50-50 scenario where you have more control than they do. And it's either they can either run past you and probably die and take a lot of damage. Because remember, his ult does not make people unkillable. It does heal them, but doesn't make them unkillable. Or they have to now fight you right then and there. And most times they will choose to sit there and fight you instead of pushing. Yes, they might kill you, but granted, you are now force the Gambit pre-distance, so now they have to still make up that distance, and there's no guarantee that if you would have ran, you would have lived. So therefore, you might as well fight them to death, and you either kill them all, right? You either just fuck their ult, or you force more ults out because now they're about to die. So they're gonna ult, more ults. And now you forced more ults by doing effectively the same thing you should have been doing. And so now they've wasted more ultimates to do what they were already gonna do if you would have turned around. You see what I mean? But people don't think like that. They think like idiots. They run away. They turn to hear Gambit never folds, and then they're like, ah, ah, ah. And I'm like, I'm sick of it. Why am I braver than you are as a tank? But if I knew how to play tank, I would be like, I'd be literally like Magneto. I'd be like, fear not, my children. We are not scared of Gambit. He may have taken a lady who was very attractive and I almost got. But, mutants, we can hold him back and his team. Forward! Like, I'd be like that. Like, I'd be literally like that. Anyway, Groot. I'm gonna push the agenda and say, he's down here. Yeah, we're just gonna push the agenda a little bit. I know he'd probably be more A tier, but I'm gonna put him in the B tier. Actually, we're gonna put him at top B tier. Because if you think about it, his ult is a game changer. You can ult off the wall, ult on the ground, ult off the ceiling, and you pull everybody in. You can bungee cord people to the top of the map. You can use, and then you get to, sometimes put down your little walls and spank them, and then they die. But most importantly, Groot is a combo ulter. By himself, he can kill, but if your supports are good and they patty cake or they, don't just use all their buttons, then they will survive by himself. But he is a combo ulter, which is why he's less tiered, because just because your character can combo doesn't make them better. As you can see, Gambit is the reason why everything's happening. Elsa's the reason why everything's happening. Pools are the reason why everything's happening. Us Against the World is why it's happening. Strange is doing all the work. You see what I mean? It's not Strange plus someone else. It's just Strange. Strange can work with others, but he doesn't rely on others to do anything. But Groot kind of does. And he can also accidentally wall off his own heals, but he can also wall off their heals. So it's like, you know what I mean? He's got like, and he can also be immune to CC. So he's got like a balance, which is why I put him there. Hawkeye, you never miss. So go ahead and put yourself right next to that sniper right there. Now, these two are interchangeable because they both basically serve the same purpose. You can boost them, and then they will kill everybody. You can also not boost them, and they still can kill everybody. It's very up to the skill of the player. I can pick up Hawkeye, and I've gotten like 12 kills before, and I've never played Hawkeye. You know what I mean? Like, I've done that before. And if you're really good, you can just pick up Hawkeye, and you get like a 40 kill streak, and you say, "Woo! I never miss." And then all of a sudden, the enemy team is trying to hide around corners and around shields. You see what I mean? So, yeah. I don't think I need to say anything about that. And plus, the team ups. Oh. And you are not going actually up there. I know what you're thinking. Hela? A poke character? Not. That can also two-shot, headshot people? Not in there. Keep in mind, this is just from my own experience, like I said, as a regular person. Honestly, I'd be like willing to put her like somewhere here, like interchangeable here, that kind of thing. But I don't think I can consolidate giving her A, since one, her shots are kind of way harder to hit than the other two snipers. I mean, let's be real, you can scope it as Widow to make your shots, a lot easier to land, and Hawkeye gets a meter that tells you when you're aiming at someone's head. So it's like Hela just has to use skill. In order to headshot someone, you just require complete skill. And you have your L2 or right click, whatever y'all put on that, is that like, though you throw those swords out, cool, they can easily be out healed, and if you're not shooting that person right afterward, or if they move away, then it won't really kill them. And on top of that, your little orb that can slightly disturb divers is not really a deterrent. It's just like, eh. It's like an inconvenience at best. I mean, yeah, you could also walk in and use the orb into your little swords into the primary, but that's gonna rarely happen if the enemy team is good. Like, I've been orbed a few times by Hela as BP when I'm diving on PC, but I still beat her ass. She runs away. The fact that I literally dive her one time and she tries to orb, and most time just instantly turns into a bird and flies away, and I can still kill her. after this, despite the fact that she tried to fly away because her flying distance is not that far, because they're too scared to give it a far distance, because they're scared that she'll just travel the map like that? Huh. Yeah. So her mobility is not that great. Her damage is good. You know, she does a lot of damage. But like she's not that scary. Yeah, you pop ult. Okay, Strange. Go flip her off with the shield meme again. He flies up there, flipping her off with the shield. Aha! Oh, and guess what? Don't forget, Rogue can do it too. Rogue can fly out there and be like, hey, how is it going, sugar? I'm gonna just bing, 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 bing. Yeah. So they could literally take turns. And don't forget, if you have a Magneto with a Rogue who have a Gambit team up at this point in time, boom. Now she can just get a bubble while she's up there, block the with the bubble first, and then shield, which will block the entire ult duration. Funny how that works. And don't forget, Jean just fully counters it, and you could just shoot down. You could shoot it down. And especially with characters like DPS pool, tank pool, and stuff, where they shoot very quickly, or can do a lot of damage really quickly, like with the boomerangs and stuff. Yeah. Even as heal pool, I'll take down her ult. Hulk, I'm pushing the agenda. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm putting that man in D tier. He got kind of a bit of a buff, but let's be real. This man he's far away. He's far away. Hulk. I'm not even a Hulk main. All you Hulk players, I feel bad for you. And if you do play Hulk and you main Hulk, you're awesome. Despite staying on a terrible character. Yeah, you got 2 claps. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Wow, you can sometimes kill people. Ah, that's so scary. Oh, you're gonna turn. Oh, you see that? He's ulting. He's ulting. Rivals. Time to become CC immune. Beep, 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 beep. Shoot the CC at him. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah. 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 And then he goes right to Bruce, and then everyone stares at him while he's de-transforming. Like, bro, yeah, go ahead and turn down for me. And then he just looks around like, damn, they're about to rock my shit. And then yeah, he dead. Let's just be real. He needs a buff. I don't know where to put Torch. I'm gonna leave Torch here. Actually, I'm just gonna leave Torch there because I have no clue. He's like mid. He's mid, but I know people who could make him good because like his you could like do so much on him, but you got to do so little. Yeah, you're going up there. Now I know what you're thinking. Why is she not S tier with her fellow sisterin? Because Susan is not that scary. Despite getting a nerf, she's still not that scary. In fact, she just got less scary. I will not allow this Invisreal agenda to continue. Yes, I'm a heal main on console. And yes, I also don't play Susan. Huh. But I do have lords on all the other ones on console, and most of them are also animated as well. But I will also say that even when I'm not playing healer, if I'm diving a Susan, like a Spider-Man, I've killed Susan many times on console. A BP on PC, I eat her. Like, right there. 10 toes in. 10 toes. Like it's not even funny how much I can destroy a Susan. I kill her as Mr. Fantastic all the time. Namor even. These are, you know what I mean, like Spider-Man, Namor, BP, healers. I've killed them as healers. If you ever see me when I'm a strat pool, I'm in their back line, beating their healers up as the heal pool, and I'm killing them as heal pool. The guy who doesn't do as much damage as DPS pool, yet can still cook. And that's with their team peeling, by the way. They see me fly past them, and then they're like, oh, God, get him! And then they're like, Susan's pushing me, shooting orbs, and I'm like, die! And then she's dead. That's literally how it goes. So, no offense, I'm not going to allow you guys to push the Invisreal agenda saying that she's actually good. She's terrible. You can kill her in her ult. You can kill her out the ult. If she doesn't ult on herself, she's dead. You can kill her whenever she's sitting there, she's dead. You die for her, she's dead. Yeah, people saying she can 1v1, she can 1v1. She can 1v1 trash. She can 1v1 the garbage. Because if you're losing to a Susan, most times out of 10, you either used a bunch of your stuff or you're kind of bad. No offense. Like, why can I do it, but you can't? You know what I mean? Like, maybe if they were a top 500, I'll give you that. If they're a pro player, pro streamer, that, no life's the game, if you're eternity, maybe, I'll put my hands up. Maybe it's a little different in there. Maybe in top 500, one above all, eternity rank, maybe it's a little bit different. But if you're celestial and beneath, garbage. Straight garbage. Straight doo-doo butter. I've never fielded a Susan in my life when I'm diving her. Never. I've killed her as healers. That's how diveable she is. I will dive her as Luna Snow. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and just... Can you, sir? No. Fist. Pillow fist, we need to talk to you. You can cancel, you can block ultimates. You can block all attacks. Why do you not do that much damage? Why do you die so easily? And why is your team ups always terrible? You became healer fist while being pillow fist. Not damage fist, not iron fist, not gold fist, not diamond fist. You became pillow fist. Yeah, I'm going to get you right out of here. We're just going to ignore you. Maximum B tier. Yes. Maximum B tier strikes again. The overdrive he can kill. But I'd honestly even put him there. Shoot, I'll put him there. Because he's like almost A tier. It's just like, they'll fall off. Like, you can snipe him very easily. And as for Jeff, I'm going to just... we're going to actually put him right there. I'm going to be less biased. There we go. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's no way he put Jeff in S tier. Yes, I did put Jeff in S tier. But now why, you may be asking? Simple. He has one of the best healings in the game. I said one of. And I know what you're thinking. What? How does he have one of the best healings in the game? If your team lines up, no matter the distance, he will hit all of them. Susan, if your team lines up, she can heal real good. But there's a distance. There's a cap. You can heal from spawn as Jeff. The only other healers that can almost do that is Luna. And maybe Fox. Maybe. Now, I think hers is like 36 or something. So, and Daggers has a limit too, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's just, I might be incorrect, but, and Rocket. Luna and Rocket. And wait, does Gambit have a limit on this? I don't know if Gambit has a limit. If Gambit doesn't have a limit, then Gambit too. But if Gambit does, then not Gambit. You see what I mean? So you can heal from spawn. There's not many characters who can do that. Except the difference is, Rocket only heals for 55. Jeff can tickle the enemy doing damage while healing you, allowing you, and because he's doing damage, that means while you're diving that person, you're getting healed by the Jeff. And he's doing damage. So they're taking passive damage, basically. They're taking burn damage accordingly. They're taking burn damage while you're getting passive heals. And you're doing your own damage. It's like effectively like you got a passive extra buff. And on top of that, he's one of the only healers who can just dramatically change a game. You've never seen people ignore a Jeff ultimate. That just doesn't happen. You can force a push against, you can counter ult, a Gambit. You can counter a Cloak and Dagger, but Cloak and Dagger is still OP. But it's like you can do a bunch of other stuff for those people, and you can you can even ignore the Cloak and Dagger ult if you really are good about it. But it's like, you know what you can't do? When you hear rah, 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 you don't ignore that. You run the fuck away. You get ready to CC. You get ready to activate your diamond form. You get ready to thing run. You don't sit there because you can't. And imagine if Groot does anything. I am Groot. All 6 of you there, you all get eaten. You all are dead. Now you're dead. That's a 6-piece chicken McNugget. Not many healers can do a 6-piece chicken McNugget with little help. Cloak and Dagger can't do it. She can't get a 6-piece. She can allow her team to basically fight without fear, but she can't 6-piece on her own. You can also silent ult as Jeff, so therefore you can get your 6-piece without a Groot, making it almost unreactable to evade the attack. And if you have comms, you can still silent ult and Groot ult, and that's a combo. You Groot ult, they think, oh god, we have to get ready to fight him. Boom. Jeff appeared out of nowhere, eats all of you. You're all dead. Woo! I never Heavens! Fall! Gambit never Avengers! Assemble! Disappear! You see what I mean? You see how that goes? He can literally be the course changer of an entire game. He has healing boost bubbles. And if you're smart, you can use those bubbles to effectively be on the move while reloading, making, even though he has a all head, you can dodge attacks. Thin form, you can dodge attacks. Fin form allows you to evasively avoid diving while still healing your team if you want to. Because if you fin off the wall and shoot while landing down into a bubble, you can literally just cycle a wall next to a diver diving you. They won't be able to kill you, and you can still heal your team. Just to be clear, in order for Rocket to do that, he has to turn his camera, dash, and he only gets 2 dashes that don't come back that fast. Loki is also S tier. I mean, your powers are mine. Do I need to explain that? Your powers are mine. Any character that's S tier, he's S tier because he's that character. On top of that, he has now better lamps that make it to where he just converts all damage into healing and gives you bonus health. And he can teleport. And he can go invisible. So if there's no Daredevil, where'd he go? Oh, you ate him as Jeff? Well, he can teleport right back because he had one clone on the edge. He's the only counter. He's OP. In fact, you just move him right on to the front here. Because let's be real, he's better than everybody. This one's biased. Yeah. As much as you all like to say she's S tier. One, I barely see Lunas on my team. And usually they're default. They don't even have a Lord icon. They don't play Luna. In fact, I had to name myself Please Be Luna at one point. And yet, I still don't get Lunas because it requires too much aim for all you trash console players that can't aim. You know, you got in the game, went on a healer, and yet you can't aim. Granted, I can't aim either. So I won't fully fault you there, but I can play all the other characters. If you banned, even if 6 people, if there's a 6 ban on support, I can play all the characters except Susan. I don't play Susan, and I don't play Cloak and Dagger. They're too easy. So when I see them get banned, I'm smiling ear to ear. That's why I want a Luna Snow, because if you get a go to Luna Snow, she can be good. She has a freeze, and with the new buff, she can get it more often. She can heal real good, but at the end of the day, she's not undiveable. She doesn't have the super capabilities to be undiveable, but she can dive you. I've seen my Korean Asian in my opponent's backline getting kills all the time. I'm like, shoo, you might as well be hot Adam Warlock. Oh wait, Adam Warlock is hot, so you're just a woman. You're just a woman version. Woman Warlock. But can I just like Susan, it's you know what I mean? I'm not going to push this. I'm not going to allow this agenda of her being too broken to pass. I've dove Lunas before on both console and PC. And I've killed them many times. In fact, most of the time you need that Adam Warlock team up was actually kind of goated because it would allow them to gain healing on because they hit me. But now that they've removed it, that stupid White Fox team up can kind of be effective if they're really good. But it's like, oh no, wow, you hit me one time, I walk at you. So unless they have the perfect flicks on PC, then they're not even killing me on PC. But you need, granted, you need good aim, good flicks. Console ain't doing that. Console's literally not doing that. That's why that White Fox team up is just PC specific. Because on console, if I get hit with that, oh wow, damn. Now they have to slowly turn to me. By that point, I'm re-diving into their ass. Anyway, Magic. Let's go ahead and put it right there. Yeah, she has the range where she can hit you for a country mile. That she's OP. Let's just be real. She's OP. She's broken. Her ultimate broken. Damon broken. She can basically. She's like a semi tank broken. Yeah, you're right there with him. Magneto and Strange are interchangeable here. Fear Magneto, you get it. You can bubble people, you get it. Team up, you get it, does damage. You can push people out of their stuff, yeah, that's pretty good. You can float, pretty good sometimes. It's situational. You can bubble yourself, you can shield attacks. You just got a lot of stuff that tanks. I mean, yeah, there's nothing I can say about that. Mantis, respectfully, have to put you there. I have seen one God Mantis who was named God Mantis. Again, I will make this in every video that I talk about Mantis. If you remember me, like I was the fellow healer and I was Jeff. If you remember me, please come back. I miss you. You were awesome. Because you can, if you're really good at the game, I've seen you can cycle 4 leaves at like basically semi-permanently, and that means you're basically just one of the best healers out of all time almost. And I don't know why you're nerfing yourself by playing Mantis, but hey, you do you. Now, most Mantises aren't like this. They're just terrible. They're just DPS wannabes that are in the support role. Like, basically, they just were forced onto the heal role, and Cloak and Dagger's probably banned, Sousa's probably banned, so they're like, yeah, I can play DPS, Mantis. And they'll look like I'm doing my job, because that's how you get her leaves. No, you're all terrible. You don't anti-dive sometimes, like, it's just, yeah. And your ult is okay, I guess, but one Jeff and you're cooked, and you have no way of stopping it, too. I'm gonna push the agenda and say, yeah, Mr. Fantastic's D tier. If I could, I'd put him F tier for fantastically failure. Now I know what you're thinking. There's no way I'm putting one of my mains in D tier. Yes, I have to go through complex quantum physics to 1v6 a point. And I mean that. Like, why am I doing the same amount of brain power that it takes to almost play Spider-Man? I'm Mr. Fantastic! He's supposed to be a hybrid DPS. Why can Daredevil and Blade do his job better than he can? I can survive spamming buttons as Daredevil. If you spam buttons as Reed on the 1v6 to try to stall, you'll die instantly. You'll croak. You spam buttons as Daredevil, you get rewarded. Yeah, if you're really good at the game, you can't spam buttons as Daredevil, but it's like, man, I have to, like, basically process all information in a game where there's ults being spammed consistently. And I have to do this all while trying to hold point? And just to make him good? No! You're telling me I have to do combos in order to get jacked, in order to fight a Daredevil in Doom match and a Thor? Like, you know how hard it is for Mr. Fantastic to fight a Thor and a Daredevil? You have to literally like be playing out of your mind. You have to be 20 steps ahead of that Thor and Daredevil to fight a Daredevil and a Thor. Why? Why do other characters like Bucky get more survivability than my boy Mr. Fantastic? He doesn't even get damage. And anyone that ever says Mr. Fantastic's inflated form does more damage, that's how I know you don't play Mr. Fantastic. because he still takes 4 hits to kill anyone, primary and when he's inflated, which means he's not doing more damage. And if he does do more damage, it's so unnoticeable that it doesn't even matter. Because it's still 4 hits to kill, and I have a video where I show me hitting 4 times, both with the inflated state and non-inflated state, to kill. Which means you still have to take the same amount of work to do it, except now you're a bigger target. And they got rid of the fact that he gains bonus health when he gets big, so now people can farm ult charge off of hitting you. And you're just a bigger target. I hate how weak he is. Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and put it. Yeah, Moon Knight. Moon Knight right there. Yeah, the moon. Let's be real, the moon. The moon is deadly. The moon is deadly. Now, I know what you're thinking. He's not that good. Huh. And if you think so, then why does he get banned all the time? Oh, because most healers have to group up? Oh, you're saying Cloak and Dagger is better when your team is grouped? Oh, you're saying Susan's kind of better when your team is grouped? Oh, you're saying Deadpool's kind of better when your team is grouped? Oh, you're saying Moon Knight does better when the enemy team is grouped? Huh. I wonder why the enemy Moon Knight's not killing anybody, but I think I've heard the Moon. I think I've seen him pick up the Khonshu phone quite a lot. That man is spam calling Khonshu more than my mom spam calls me. Like, what? Why is that man? You the moon, the moon. 5 seconds later, the moon. 5 seconds later, the moon, the moon. Oh yeah, you're getting out of it, the moon. Guess what? I got the moon again. By the time you got out the moon, now the moon is back. You've killed me, but don't worry. I got the moon. I'm the moon from the spawn. Yeah, like it's just he gets too much ult charge benefit. Like his generation of ult charge is insane, and the fact that the moon can kill you, and even if it doesn't, he can throw his Ankh in there, me, and kill you anyway. And guess what? If you don't die, guess what? He goes right back to farming. Right back to farming. Oh, what's that? He can. Oh, you dive him. Ha! Why didn't I think about that? Oh, what's that? He's Batman? Damn. You're telling me he can grapple away, double jump, float, and still shoot in the air, and then float again, and then grapple, and then shoot in the air, and then float again, and then double jump, and then shoot in the air, and then float again? What's that? He can just be in the air so that BP can't touch him? Damn, that's crazy. Oh, Spider-Man. Ha! Oh, so now Spider-Man has to go dive the Moon Knight. So that means if they got a flyer, he now has to make a 50-50 choice. Oh, and what is that? Susan can just keep him alive? Ultron can keep him alive? Oh. So you're saying you can prevent the dive? Oh, wait, you're saying all it takes is one Scarlet Witch to kill a Spider-Man? Since when? I'm sorry. You see the point there. He can generate ult charge insanely fast, and on top of that, he can do a bunch of damage. He can stat pad. He's one of the easiest characters to play. He can also move. He has mobility. Hela doesn't even have mobility, and yet she can't even spam ults like that. So why can he? You know. With that being said, but this is gonna play part 1 of this video. Stay tuned for part 2. Until then, I'll see you all next one. Peace out.